Hello, my name's Brad. I weigh 250 pounds and I need your help.
Hello, my name is Brad. I weigh 199.7 pounds, and I'm here to help you lose some weight. Before we get into the meat of the video, as it were, I want to go ahead and show you guys some pictures of what I used to look like at probably my heaviest, where I was at least 250, but I was probably closer to 257 at the time these pictures were taken. So I'm going to go ahead and show you guys those right now. This is what I look like now. Stand up for you guys. Of course, understand that I still need to lose about 30 pounds. I think it's a pretty significant difference. I started out at 250.1 pounds. So since January 1st of this year, I have lost 50.4 pounds. Now understand that this video will be geared toward people who are obese, who do need to lose at least 50 pounds, if not more so. And just, I want to help you guys with some general tips and things that I've picked up along this journey that has helped me drop from 250 pounds to being below obese to now being below 200. And while I still have a ways to go myself, you know, I still am overweight, and that there's still fat on me that I need to eventually shed. But I am convinced now that I have lost 50 pounds that my method works. What I'm going to be sharing with you guys, I'm convinced that if you stick to anything similar to what I'm going to be sharing with you, you will see progress. Some things to note: I am not a doctor, I'm not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, so just keep that in mind. If there happens to be any of those that I just mentioned that are watching this video and you have some additional tips that you'd like to bring to the table, please share them in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you have to say about this. So before I get started, I have some notes here so I don't forget. There are two basic concepts that you need to keep in mind to lose weight. You need to eat less and exercise more. These are your base foundation. Eat less, exercise more. Now, the eating less is probably going to be about 70 to 80% of what you do that is going to help you lose the weight. But you also do need to exercise. You really need to get your body moving if you really want to see the progress that you want to see. Another thing that you should consider using is the MyFitnessPal app. It has been incredible. Now keep in mind that it is a tool. It's not going to magically help you shed the weight. If you don't follow the general guidelines that are provided with the app, then you're not really using the tool effectively and you're not going to see results. And also keep in mind that this takes a lot of willpower. A lot of willpower. You need to have a drive to succeed. You need to have that drive in you every single day that you're going to do this. You're going to succeed. You're going to lose the weight. It's, you know, what you're going to come to realize after watching this video, that it is more than just eating less and exercising more. There's a lot that you need to do. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and break down the eating less portion, and then we're going to do the exercising more portion. And then finally, there's going to be some other little tidbits, little tips that I'm going to show you guys to help you with your progress. So let's get started. for this portion of the video, the eating less portion, I'm going to go ahead and go over what I ate and how much of it that I ate. So to start, here are some important little tips for you. Count your calories. I cannot stress that enough. Count your calories. If you need to handwrite it, if you need to log it on your computer, I would advise the MyFitnessPal app. Just motioning toward my phone. Somehow log your calories. You need to know how much you are eating every day. Trust me, it is a great way to stay disciplined. And honestly, if you are obese and you're trying to lose weight, if you were where I was or worse, count your calories. I know some people personally that lost as much weight as I have, if not more so, and they didn't count calories. For this, not everybody has to, but I would say for like 90% of the people who need to lose weight, count your calories, because I guarantee you, most of you don't realize and don't understand how much you're taking in. You will surprise yourself at how much you're taking in. I would even recommend the first week, before you even actually start incorporating some of these things, actually just count your calories. Just take note of every single thing you're eating and just see how many calories you're eating. And I would actually look up, based on your weight and height, how much you're supposed to be taking in to lose maybe a pound a week or 2 pounds a week, which is pretty healthy. That's a pretty healthy range. But yeah, just for that first week before you even go into this, just count your calories. Don't even change anything. Just count your calories. So that's the first big thing that I would recommend. Portion control and measuring out your servings. That is huge. I didn't really understand before I started losing weight how much I was putting on my plate. I thought what I was eating was fine. It didn't look like it was that much. But once you actually portion out what a recommended serving is, it's insane. Like, I will use salad dressing as a big example. A serving of that is 2 tablespoons, but even 1 tablespoon is enough for you to get plenty of that dressing on your salad. And if you're not measuring that out, people just do this, and who knows how many servings you just loaded onto your salad. So that's something else to keep in mind. The third thing, stay away from fast food and soda. That's typically in any type of video that you see like this out on YouTube. That's probably what most of them recommend. Once you get closer to a goal weight, if you want to incorporate maybe some of those things back into your diet, fine. But when you're first starting out, cut it out completely. So no more McDonald's, no more Burger King, no more Wendy's, Subway, Taco Bell, any fast food place, Sheetz, which is an East Coast thing. Anything like that you can think of that is just a quick meal, cut it out. Do not do it. The amount of fat, sugar, sodium that is in these foods, it's ridiculous. It really is. You can look them up for yourselves. Even things that are quote unquote healthy probably are higher on the sugar or sodium. You'd be surprised. So my recommendation, just cut it out completely. Same with soda. 1 can of soda, just one little can of soda that you drink, is usually like 65 to 70 grams of sugar, which is well more than 1 day's worth of sugar you should be taking in. They do recommend that for females, you take in about 20 grams of sugar. For males, it's about 36. In my experience, you can take in a little bit more than that. I'm eating probably about 40 to 50 grams of sugar, somewhere in that, probably closer to the 45 gram mark. That's generally what I take in. Some days a little less, some days a little more, but that's generally what I'm taking in. So 1 soda would destroy my day. Would absolutely destroy my day. And I'm telling you, if you're drinking a ton of soda, if you're drinking like 5 cans a day, cut it down to 1 and eventually nothing, and you'll shed the weight. Just cutting out soda completely, you'd probably drop 20 pounds. Something to keep in mind. Now, going off of that, you want to avoid foods that are high in sugar. My general rule of thumb is, in any given serving, if it's 10 grams of sugar or less, it's good to go. Anything more than that, even if it's 11 grams, I don't eat it. And I have stuck to that since probably mid-January to February. That's when I started actually keeping track of my sugar, and I think it's really helped. I really do. So if any given serving, if it's 10 grams of sugar or less, it's good to go in my book. You want to watch your sodium levels. It's not, in my experience, it's not quite as important, but still you don't want to make it too high. I'm probably taking in like 3,000 to 3,500 milligrams of sodium per day. They recommend 2,300, but I'll tell you what, actually sticking to 2,300 milligrams of sodium per day is really, really hard. If you have to have probably the strictest diet in the world to stick anywhere around that. It's absolutely insane. So just try to watch that. Try to keep it on the lower side if you can. And I feel like that's also made a world of difference for me. The fat, you want to keep your saturated fats and your total fat level down. As far as saturated fats go, you don't want to take in it probably any more than 20 or 25 grams of saturated fat per day. So you want to stick away from like the microwave popcorn and things like that. But generally speaking, the fat's probably the thing on the totem pole of things. Macros is what they call them that I watch the least. It's number 3 on the list. I'm probably taking in like 60 to 65 grams of fat, which is what they recommend anyway. But the sugar and sodium are the 2 things that I really, really watch. So let's go ahead and get down into what I eat on a typical breakfast, lunch, dinner, and possible snack foods that I take in. For breakfast, and this has been the same breakfast I've had for probably 3 months now, a breakfast replacement meal with high protein and low sugar. High as in it's got around 13-15 grams of protein and only 3 grams of sugar, and then I eat a fiber bar that has less than 10 grams of sugar per bar. The one that I eat I think has 7 or 8, so all in all that's about 11 grams of sugar, but separate they are less than 10 grams per, and that's what's important to me. That is my breakfast every single day. Now sometimes I'll have breakfast and lunch together, so we'll go into lunch. This can vary from day to day, but what I typically eat are the things that I'm going to list off to you. I usually make a flax wrap, and you can get these at Walmart. Actually, a second here. This is the one that I eat. It's called Flat Out Multi-Grain with flax. This thing is incredible. I have cut out bread completely. I do not eat it. That is the only thing that's even remotely close that I take in. So you know your white and wheat bread that you get from the store that's sliced. I don't eat that anymore. But I'll have that with a half serving of sliced ham, half serving of small pepperoni slices. I'll have a cheese stick, and I'll usually have like pretzels in with it. In total, that comes to about 330, 350 calories. So along with that, I might have a light yogurt, Yoplait yogurt. My favorite was the orange cream, and that is exactly 10 grams of sugar per serving. So that was kind of my go-to yogurt. If I'm going to have any yogurt, that's the one. Now there are some flavor variants, like I like vanilla. Some of them, I've had peach and blueberry before, but they all are 10 grams of sugar. I don't eat any other yogurt because most of the yogurts are higher than that, and that's not good. So yeah, that's what I have. If I don't end up having that, I'll have a lean pocket. My favorite is the chicken jalapeno. It's like 250, 260 calories or something like that, and it's pretty filling, in my opinion. It's pretty filling. And then along with that, I'll just have a standalone cheese stick. Or I might have, and this is the only pasta-related thing I have, is there's this Vermont cheddar mac and cheese. It's organic pasta. It's around 260 calories per serving. It's pretty good. So for any given lunch, that's usually what I have. For dinner, this, again, varies from day to day. I might have something very similar to my lunch with the possible variant of having some salad, and I measure out a serving of shredded cheese and a half serving of ranch. Honestly, a half serving of any dressing, that's all you need. You really don't need to be taking in more than that. I also have some apples, oranges, or pineapples if I have them available to me, and most days I do. Most days I'll have myself an apple or pineapple. Oranges not so much, even though I absolutely love oranges. You know, you definitely want to incorporate some fruits into your diet. I don't eat them quite as much as I probably should because I'm already getting fiber from other sources, but fruits are definitely good for you. Some vegetables that I eat, it's either lima beans or green beans. Those are kind of my go-to vegetables. I'm not a big vegetable fan, but those for dinner, those are things that I'll have. And also some sweet peas. If you get a small cup of sweet peas, they have a little bit of sugar to them. I'm not sure exactly. It's like 3-4 grams of sugar, probably a little bit less. But just one small cup of sweet peas, probably good for you. As far as a possible snack, now I really don't vary too much. In the evenings after I've had my dinner, I'll usually have a little something if I still need to reach my calories or if I'm still feeling a little hungry. Possible things that I will have, again, a cheese stick. If I only had one earlier, I might have another one. I have this cinnamon fiber bar, which is 6 grams of sugar per serving, which is 1 bar, and it's 90 calories. And honestly, just having that bar usually is enough that I'm not feeling super hungry. And then I might have this Nature Valley granola crunch. Now this you need to be very careful with. This one serving of this is 1/4 of a cup. And this has 7 grams of sugar for that 1/4, so you need to measure that out if that's what you're going to go with. It's 120 calories. So yeah, you need to be very careful about stuff like that because you can definitely go overboard. You could end up having 2 or 3 servings before you even know it. So that's something I would recommend. If you do get it, just be careful. Really be strict about your portion control. So before I end this segment, we go on to the next one. A couple little tips for you. I rarely indulged in anything else outside of what I mentioned. I might have some other, like I used to have these little snack tray things, which would have a small serving of cheese cubes and some pretzels and like apple slices. That's something that I would have. But as far as indulging, it was extraordinarily rare over the past four and a half months that I would have anything outside of what I mentioned. I think there was only 3 or 4 days, I want to say, where I actually had anything that deviated from this. My fiance and I, a couple times we went to a restaurant called La Carreta. It's a Mexican restaurant that we love to go to, and I ended up getting a vegetarian dish there. We ended up going to Red Robin, and they also had a vegan burger, a vegetarian burger, something like that. Which leads me to my next point. When you do go and eat out, eat vegetarian or vegan. If you're not wanting to live that type of lifestyle, I understand, that's fine, but if you do go and eat out, please do yourself a favor, and if they offer it, get a vegan or vegetarian dish. It's way less in calories. It's going to be way healthier for you than anything else they're going to offer on their menu. Trust me. Now, with salads and stuff that you would get while you're eating out, be extraordinarily careful and actually ask for dressing on the side so you can just pour it yourself, because salads can be very deceptive. It can be very deceptive. So yeah, that's just something to keep in mind. And then the final thing, I'm going to reiterate, always count your calories. Always count your calories. Just please, do me a favor. Do me a favor. If you're not going to do it for yourself, if you're not going to do it for others, do it for me. Count your calories. So with that said, we're going to go ahead and move on to the exercise portion of this video. And I have a couple little tips for you that can help you not only start an exercise routine, but keep with it, because it's really hard to do. So go ahead and get started on that now. Okay, so for exercise, here's a couple things that I would recommend for this portion of the video. I would actually wait about a month or so before you actually start an exercise routine. That's what I did, and it was the best thing for me. And the reason I would recommend that is because you want to give your body time to adjust to the new diet. And eventually you want to make it not a diet but a habit change. You want your body to continue to adjust and enjoy what you're taking in and the exercise that you're going to be doing. You don't want to feel burnt out. You don't want to feel horrible with what you're doing. So I would wait about a month to give your body a chance to adjust. Now, if I'm not going to say that if within the first week or so, I'm not going to say, hey, don't go walk, don't do anything like that. If you want to go walk, that's fine. Just don't actually set up a strict exercise regimen right from the get-go, because what ends up happening is a lot of people go into diets and things to try to lose weight, and they go in hardcore. They strictly cut their calories. They strictly cut them to a point that is extremely unhealthy, or they're like at the bare minimum, which is 1,200 calories. That's what's recommended at minimum to maintain a healthy lifestyle. They're cutting it to that right from where they were, wherever they were, and then they're going in, head first into a heavy exercise routine, and within 2 weeks they've given up. Give yourself time to adjust to the diet, okay? Remember, this is not a marathon, it's not a race. You want to take it day by day, so just give yourself a month. Give yourself a month. Go slow with it. So with that said, once you do start getting into an exercise routine, do like 3 or 5 days. 3 or 5 days is what I would recommend, and usually I'm doing probably a little bit more. I'm doing about 4 or 5. Most of the time I'm doing 5 days a week. And I'm gonna give you a typical rundown of what I do. But first, I'm gonna tell you, walking works. Walking has been pretty much my primary exercise since I started. I think I've only jogged 1 time since I started, but I'm telling you right now, walking works. Let me be an example. So if you're not a big fan of jogging or running, walking works. You just have to do it right. I'm not talking about leisure walking. You need to be fast walking. So a typical day for me goes like this. 15 minutes at 3.0 miles per hour, and I'm using a treadmill for most of these exercises. If you don't have access to a treadmill, it's going to be a little harder to know if you're walking 3 miles per hour, but just you want to walk fast. Not to the point where you're about to break into a jog, but you want to walk fast. But if you have access to a treadmill, 3 miles per hour for about 15 minutes to get my body warmed up. And then I'll go anywhere from 45 minutes to 75 minutes at 3.5 miles per hour. That's where you're really going to feel the burn. That's where you're really going to feel it. I'm usually pouring sweat by the end of this portion. And then I have a 5-minute cool down. So I'm usually doing it anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes on any given day that I exercise. About 60 to 90 minutes. And I usually am getting in about 3.3 miles up to even 5.5 miles total walked during that time. So that just gives you a general idea of what I'm putting in on any given week. I would recommend that you at least try to incorporate 30 minutes of exercise per any day that you exercise, because I know people, have full-time jobs and they have busy lives and it's hard. But I can guarantee you, if you can fit in 30 minutes to watch TV, or you have 30 minutes to yourself, I can promise you, you've got time to put in some exercise. So make the time. Make the time. I am fortunate enough that right now, I had been a student up until recently. I did just graduate from college a couple days ago. So I've been fortunate enough that I have had the time to fit this in whenever. But even if you're working full time, even if you're going to school, even if you have a really busy life, you can fit the time in. I'm telling you, you can fit in 30 minutes. Yeah, you can probably fit in an hour. You got to be determined. You got to do it. And then I will finish up with some push-ups. Right now, this is really geared for people who are in pure fat loss mode. This is really what this exercise routine is. I am currently not trying to build muscle. I'm trying to just lose fat. Excuse me. Trying to lose fat. So I will do some push-ups to help strengthen my chest a little bit, because once I do get to my goal weight, or even decide to go a little further, I don't want to look like a stick, or look like somebody who's extremely unhealthy. I don't want that. Definitely don't want that. So don't go super overboard with it. But if you want to do some push-ups or some other training to help you with a little bit of muscle growth, go for it. But again, this is intended for pure fat loss. Some other notes: I would recommend that you drink plenty of water before, during, and after your exercise. It's definitely important to stay hydrated. You also want to stretch. You don't want to go on and pull something while you're working out, because that's no fun. And I would wait 5 to 10 minutes after eating before you get on, because you don't want to feel sick. Again, just pace yourself. Don't do anything that's going to make you feel burnt out, because if you feel burnt out early, you're not going to stick to it. I can't tell you how many times up till now I had tried to lose weight, and I would always get burnt out super early because I went hard super early, and you don't want to do that. So with that said, I'm going to just go into real quick some other things to help you lose weight. And then I think that'll do it. So here's a couple things that I noted that should maybe be able to help you. I would recommend that you weigh yourself every day. Every single day. Right when you get up, after using the bathroom, do not eat or drink anything, and wear the same thing that you wear whenever you weigh yourself every time you do it. I myself would weigh myself in just boxers and socks, and this necklace. That's pretty much the only thing that I would weigh myself in every single day. Understand also that there will be fluctuations in weight, but it's always good to know where you're at. Now don't stress out if you're seeing it at the same weight, or even if you weigh yourself and it's gone up half a pound. It's rare that you're gonna actually legitimately gain half a pound as you're losing weight. It's more than likely water weight. So yeah, weigh yourself every day just to kind of see where you're at. And I'm going to provide at the end of this video kind of my MyFitnessPal graph, and you're going to see that it's going to do something like this. It's not going to be like that. There are some bumps and grooves along the way. I typically didn't record anything unless it was weight loss, but understand that in those grooves, those were days that I either stayed the same or showed a slight increase. I didn't notate anything unless it had dropped. For me, that was just it's a nice visual for me to keep myself motivated. But understand that there will be fluctuations in weight. So don't freak out. Stick to it. Stick to the process. If it's been like 6 weeks and you haven't noticed anything, then you might want to change up something. I even would recommend maybe you see a doctor if that's the case. So yeah, just something to keep in mind. Don't give up. That's another thing that I would recommend. Do not give up. it's tough. It is really tough. This is probably the hardest thing I've had to do was lose the weight that I have, and I know that I still have a ways to go. And it's hard. It's hard. Just understand that you're not alone. You're not alone. I really felt like many times in my life just giving up and just being like, screw it. I'm never going to lose the weight. And it was a tough mentality. I felt really depressed. I didn't want to get up some days. My self-esteem was at an all-time low. I would look at myself in pictures and just, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. So I'm telling you, the self-confidence that you get once you lose the weight, it's incredible. I feel so much better about where I am now to where I was then. I've dropped 4 pant sizes. I can wear clothes that I hadn't been able to wear before that I can finally fit into pretty well now, which is really nice. So I'm really happy with that. But anyway, don't give up. Do not give up. You want to pace yourself. Take it slow. You know, like I said, it's not a race. It's not a marathon. This is your own personal journey. Just pace yourself. And I know that everybody wants to wake up one day and just instantly have that weight gone, but it doesn't work that way. One day you will wake up and yeah, you'll have lost 50 pounds. One day you'll wake up and that's exactly what's happened today. That's exactly what happened today. I woke up and I was 50 pounds down from where I was. But the work in between today and January 1st, it's insane. It's insane. Another thing to consider, if you are struggling, talk to a possible support group. The MyFitnessPal community they're there for you. If you're struggling, people will give you some additional tips on top of what I've mentioned on here that could possibly help you. Maybe what I'm saying just isn't, you know, something that's ringing a bell with you. Maybe it's something that maybe you're looking for some other method or something else to help you out. I would recommend the MyFitnessPal community. They're pretty fantastic, and you'll definitely find anything that you would need to know on there. And I would even talk to friends and family about this, you know, let them know, hey, I'm trying to lose weight. You know, I really could use your help and support and encouragement on this journey. You know, having some sort of support group and support base is really helpful. I'm actually going to give a couple of shout outs to some people in my life that have really helped me achieve what I have achieved. First and foremost, my wonderful fiance, Allison. I love you. You've been, I can't even express how supportive you have been over not just the past 4.5 months, but since I've known you. We've been together over 7 years, and you have always supported anything that I've wanted to do. And really, without you, I don't know if I could have done this. There were some weeks, some days that were really tough, but you helped me keep focus. So thank you for that. My family, you know, everybody in my family has been working really hard to lose weight. Collectively as a family, we've lost about 150 pounds, which is absolutely monstrous. My dad, he recently lost about 50 pounds. He's looking really good. My mom, who, even though she was already a normal weight to begin with, she's lost 10 pounds, and she's got a goal for herself, which I think is a healthy weight for her. Something else I will mention here in a second is BMI. I'll go over that briefly. But anyway, she's looking really good. Both of my sisters, they've been losing weight, and my brother as well. So it's been really awesome. So thank you guys. You've been, you know, really nice to bounce ideas off of, and really been encouraging. So thank you guys. And I want to throw a special shout out to my friend Matt. He was at the same weight as myself some time ago. I don't know how long exactly he's been working on it, but today he weighs, I think, 196.7 or something, very close to that. So we both started at the same weight, and we're both just about at the same weight now. So he's been a big supporter, and when I was around 230 pounds, he was really close to that 200 mark. So the fact that we're really close, and I had somebody that I could, you know, really look up to and felt inspired to continue, it was really helpful. So Matt, thank you, man. And I hope you continue to reaching your goal too. I know you can do it, man. I know you can do it. So one last thing before I go, BMI. For those of you watching this video who are looking for help, BMI is an excellent tool. It is definitely an excellent tool. It's not the end all be all, but just knowing where you're at on BMI is a good thing. If you're somebody who lifts and has muscle, BMI is not going to be accurate, because, you know, there are some people who are probably my height and weigh pretty close to my weight, but it's muscle. They look jacked, and their BMI would say that they were overweight or even obese, but they're not. So if you are obese and it's because you need to lose weight and not because you're building muscle, look at your BMI. I think it's a good indicator of where you are and where you want to be. And you can find out what a healthy weight for you would be. So if you're not planning on being a bodybuilder, not somebody who's going to be putting on muscle, check out BMI. Otherwise, wouldn't pay too much stock into it. So I guess with that said, I'm going to go ahead and go. If you did watch to the end of this video, I thank you, and I hope that this does help. If this helps even one person, I will be extremely, extremely happy. If it does help you, please let me know in the comments. If you have any ways to improve what I've already said, please put it in the comments. If you don't like this video, let me know why. All I can say is if your reasoning for not liking this video is that what I'm telling you doesn't work, it's bad, whatever you want to say, let me be proof that what I'm telling you does work. What I've said in this video, and I wanted to wait until I lost 50 pounds because at that point I was convinced that this works. So I really think if you stick to something similar to this, you too will lose weight. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. My name's Brad. I weigh 199.7 pounds. I've lost 50 pounds. And I hope this helps. Take care, guys.